Hey guys, welcome to my resto shaman guide for Necrotic Wake. I will be going over trash as well, so without further ado, let's get into it. So for this first pull, if you're doing the gatekeeper, you definitely want to grab a shield and use it on the first AoE. So right here, I'm popping the shield on that first one. Make sure you look out for any throw flashes. So I see that a shaman has 2 and I'm ready to heal him as much as possible. I see that the gatekeeper is not dead, so I just drop a spirit link here just in case it died in the middle of that second cast there. If the gatekeeper doesn't die as fast in your group, you definitely want to pop your spirit link on that second AoE. And I go ahead and grab the second shield there afterwards because we will be doing a second gatekeeper. This boss does not have really much to do. It's just a one shot and then a dot after. So you want to bank up your Master of Elements procs and move your Earth Shield to whoever gets the frontal. You just want to make sure you have your Earthbind down for the adds every single time. You can use your Cap Totem if you need to stun them. What I like to do is I look at who's getting targeted by the frontal and I precast a heal on them if I can, so that they don't immediately die to the dot tick right after. You can't really help people that much on this fight if they don't have a defensive. The only thing you can really do is give them an Earth Shield if they get it for the 3% DR, but aside from that, it's pretty much up to them. If you get it yourself, you can rotate between your Astral Shift, Stone Bulwark Totem, and Earth Ellie if you really need it. And if you really need to, you can use your Spirit Link if it's up, but if you're doing the Gatekeeper pull on the first pull, you're most likely not going to have it up. Aside from that, there really isn't much to say about this boss. Pretty much just making sure your healing rain is always on the boss for more damage and you're just helping DPS for the most part. And here we have another Gatekeeper. I'm ready to use my shield on that AoE. Just makes the mechanic really easy. However, if you don't have a shield, you can just pop your Ascendant and Healing Tide together on that first one and Spirit Link for the other. This is before the Gatekeeper nerf, so I'm not sure how much damage it's going to be doing afterwards, but this is what I've been doing so far. So for the rest of this trash, make sure you kick bolts. It's the only thing that really kills the tank, especially if they're synced up. I was assigned to kick the fear on this one, so I wasn't able to kick the bolts, but if you have somebody else covering the fear already, you definitely want to help with bolts because your kick is a very low CD. Some groups like to skip Nerzuda, but this group wanted to do it, so we went ahead. And you want to grab Purge if your team isn't, but we had someone in our group doing it, so I did not have to. You can just pop any CDs for this. I popped my Ascendants just to be safe. There is some damage going out, but not very much. It's mostly just the tank that's in danger because he gets bolted a lot, so you want to use your stops and your kicks as much as possible. This is a great place to send an orb if you have it. This is where I grab my third shield, and I'm most likely going to just save it for the boss. You want to make sure the mage volleys do not go off on this pull, because that's just extra healing that you ideally don't want to do. If the volley goes off along with the bolt, it can definitely kill someone, so make sure you kick that. And of course, make sure you're single targeting the Necromancer so it kills everything when it dies. So none of these pulls are exactly deadly for the group unless you miss kicks. So if anything deadly happens, such as missing a volley kick, you can always pop your CDs and it'll be a backup for the boss. There's a second spear here that I usually grab if my team isn't, but I believe somebody grabbed it. We decided to, in this pot, skip this trash. You can also 3-man mount rescue that as well if you have an evoker. And there is another shield there that you can grab if you need it. I usually like to just let the tank have that shield because this trash here is very deadly for them. There's a bleed that hurts really bad. Didn't seem like he needed it there, so we just kept it for the boss. Again, make sure you don't miss any kicks, especially on the fear, but also kick bolts as much as possible. So over here, you can start the RP without getting stunned. So all you have to do is go up the stairs and just don't cross that line. And as you can see there, the RP started and I did not get stunned. I'm just making sure I see where the tank is facing the Marauder because I do not want to get hit by the frontal. And of course, I'm still assigned to kicking the fear. Our Acid Rain did get nerfed a little bit, but it still does a decent amount of damage passively, so you still want to keep Healing Rain on trash at all times for damage. On this boss, I usually like to kick mages in. However, this group said they didn't need to and they were just going to grip them in and stop them. Although we did miss a kick on that one, so I just dropped a Spirit Link to be safe. This boss doesn't really have particularly anywhere that needs a ton of healing. It's just pulse damage, so just use your judgment and pop a CD whenever you need to catch back up. I try to use my Healing Rain and Healing Stream totem for the most part, but if people's HP start dipping low, especially when there are ads out, I want to pop a CD. So I popped my Healing Tide totem over there because I want to make sure people are always topped in case they get bolted or the volley goes off. So DK just got bolted there, but he survived because he was topped. Not sure what hit the evoker there. I believe it was a melee or a bolt, but since he was topped, he did not die. I also took a bolt there, but I quickly healed myself up with Healing Surge and Health Pot, and I survived. If you have orbs and you don't have a DK in your group, you can also look to use them on this boss because without a DK, it is pretty dangerous when the mages spawn and they're casting volleys at the back. We like to pull it into the corner so that all the ads spawn on one side, but this group did not do that. So I have an example of a group that did do this and made the ad spawning locations way better. So at this point, if you still have orbs, you definitely want to use on this pole because there are a ton of drain fluids and gore splatters that you do not want to go off. If you do have a gore splatter go off, you want to pop one of your big CDs such as Spirit Link or Ascendance because it does do a lot of damage. And of course, keep your Healing Rain down on the mobs as always. Try to stop any throw flashes if you can, especially if there are two going on the same person. I just decided to pop my Spirit Link totem there to help out my tank because it is pretty much the best external you have for your tank when they're in trouble. As long as I have it back up for the boss, we should be good. If they just kick the gore spotter, there's only one throw flash on me, so I'm safe. For the rest of this trash, there's not really much going on. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but yeah, you definitely want to save your stops and kicks for drain fluids, throw flesh, gore spotter, and just make sure none of them go off while you help DPS. If your tank needs a little bit of help, you can look to heal them as well. You should have your Master of Elements procs from Lava Bursting, but since we have a Blood DK, he said he didn't really need help for the most part. Here you just want to face the cleavers toward each other so that the ads kill each other. If both of them are targeting you, unfortunately you will have to just face them on one direction and your tank will have to soak for the other one. So Rotsfu is a little bit annoying if you have melee because it does pulsing damage, and usually I don't like to pop too much on this because I want to have all my CDs up for the boss. So if I really need to, I either pop AG or Healing Tide Totem to keep people up, but aside from that, I don't spend my Spirit Link or my Ascendance. If you get targeted by the disease, you definitely want to pop a defensive and just queue up a heal on whoever gets targeted so they're instantly topped as the disease goes out. Same idea as on the first boss. And just make sure you drink to full and people are topped before going into this boss. There's a ton of rot damage on this boss, so you want to make sure you just have your Healing Stream and Healing Rain Totem always down for the passive healing. And then whenever you see yourself start to fall behind, you pop a second CD. So we have Zephyr going here, so I don't pop anything yet. The first CD I pop here is my Healing Tide. I see that people are starting to dip to half health, so I pop my AG as well. Just look at the ad's HP. If it's almost dead, you can spend more of your abilities, but if not, you want to be more conservative. And we still have another shield here. Unfortunately, we missed the second hook on the boss, so we had to last a lot longer. I popped my Ascendance to make sure we don't die here, but the ad is about to die and I will have time to recover after. But ideally, you want to get 2 hooks onto the boss before the ad dies, because that's when you still have your Lust and your DPS CDs running and you do more damage to the boss. So here I just popped my Spirit Link, but it wasn't quite on top of the group, so I moved it. And we're still dying here, so I just do my best to chain heal and keep my Riptides up. I'm also using Downpour as much as I can and keeping Healing Rain on top of my group. I pop my shield here just in case. Unfortunately, I did not repop my Earth Shield on myself, so I'm taking a lot more damage. This is when I finally pop my personal and people are walling. We have 2 ads up at the same time and I'm but the boss dies right there. So ideally, we don't miss that many hooks and we don't get 2 ads up at the same time, but it is definitely healable if I knew that was going to happen. I just was not prepared. So I would have popped my Spirit Link Totem a lot later there if I knew we were going to miss the second hook. So ideally, you either want to get that second hook down or you just want to kill the ad right away. But we did neither and that was just extra work for me. So on this boss, there isn't really much damage going out outside of that shield. And you just want to be aware of your DPS's cooldowns. If they have a lot of cooldowns, the shield is going to break immediately and you won't be in danger. But sometimes that shield stays up for a long time and you want to pop a CD for it, especially if you have to move during the Comet Storm. So for this one, the shield lasted a little longer and I just popped my Healing Tide for it just in case. Remember, you also have your Spirit Walker's Grace, so if the shield is up during the Comet Storm and you guys are taking a lot of damage, you definitely want to pop your Spirit Walker's Grace and spam chain heals. This shield didn't go down immediately, so I popped my AG there, just a smaller CD just in case. Now we have another shield up, and this is where I popped my Ascendance because the shield did not die right away. And the DK got insta-ticked when he came back up. I had to use my NS on the Evoker there because he was about to die on the next tick. But here we have another shield going, and I just kind of dropped my Spirit Link in the middle-ish to make sure we don't die. You can also rotate your personals, and I still haven't used my Spirit Walker's Grace because I'm waiting for a very bad moment. And then, of course, you still want to keep your Healing Rain down on the boss for more damage, and try to help DPS whenever you can. And I pop my Spirit Walker's Grace here just in case, because the boss is almost dead at this point, and we just want everyone to be alive. There were a few deaths to people downstairs, but that's not really something I can control. And that's it. If you have any other questions, please leave it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to check out my other videos and guides on this channel, and I will also be coming out with more as well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video.